There is so much being said about season 4 of Outer Banks, and we have got to spill on all of the drama that is going on, especially between actors Rudy and Madison. Fans are not happy with the way that season 4 played out, and all of the drama that has really led us to this moment, feeling like things that happened between them and their girlfriends have led us to what happened in season 4. And people are not happy, you guys, calling them unprofessional. I mean, it's a lot. Now, I have been a fan of Outer Banks since season 1. I mean, this show came out in 2020, so I was invested in not only the show, but the actors, their social media accounts, because at the time they were posting so much with each other. It was so easy to just get like sucked into this little Outer Banks bubble. And that's the thing that fans are the most upset about, is that things just don't feel the same as they did in season 1. And they really wish that some of these friendships stayed the same. So we're going to be spilling on all that people have had to say, because it's a lot. With each new season of Outer Banks, fans have heavily missed the way the cast interacts with each other. The first season of the show dropped in 2020 during COVID, and the cast was all living together in the same complex while filming season 1, and everyone was extremely close. They had so much content to share. None of them were famous yet, and slowly blew up as the show just won over so many people as this next big teen drama show. They each gained millions of followers upon the release, and soon fans even found out that 2 of the stars on the show, Chase and Madeline, were dating. The cast always posted photo dumps of their tomfoolery, and fans just loved every single second of content that they were getting of this cast. There was some drama though, because the cast was so close, and people of course started to ship their favorites, and Rudy and Madison found themselves getting shipped together. Fans were making edits of them, and they really loved it at first.
A lot of people want him to be with Kiara. How do you feel about that?
I talked to Maddie, who plays Kiara, and she's like, we're like, yeah, if it's written, let's do it. And I think it's cute. I don't think it should happen immediately in season 2, and I know some people would be a little mad at me for saying that, but I think the end game of the OBX, I can see JJ and Kiara being like, all right, there's something here.
Sitting here, my notification bar is coming down like hashtag Kiara, like it's a lot. I didn't see it coming, but watching it back, I'm kind of like, oh, yeah, I totally get that. There were definitely lines in there, and there were like hints and stuff that we didn't even think about until the fans took that and ran with it. So
But later, this ended up being upsetting to both of them. Madison had started dating her girlfriend in June of 2020, and then it came out that Rudy was dating someone named Elaine. The 2 of them met on the set of Outer Banks as she was working as an assistant to Jonas, who was one of the creators of the show. Fans felt like their partners were jealous of what fans were saying about them, and that the disrespect of their individual relationships hurt their friendship significantly. By August of that year, Madison had tweeted, "The internet has ruined an abundance of friendships," which fans felt like might have been about her friendship with Rudy getting ruined. And a lot of people felt like Madison's girlfriend Mariah was not particularly the biggest fan of Outer Banks fans, as one time during a live, a question popped up asking about Rudy, and she was making it clear she didn't like him, at least not him being mentioned.
I'm a fool.
No.
Stop.
Nope.
Rudy's my friend. Rudy is my friend, yeah.
Who is this? Shit. No, we're not doing this.
Stop putting those up.
In May 2021, just a few months before the second season of the show was going to come out, fans really started looking into Rudy's girlfriend Elaine and her past, and they were not happy with what they were finding. She had several tweets that resurfaced. People were accusing her of cultural appropriation, racism, and just being insensitive. So that, on top of fans thinking that she came between Rudy and Madison's friendship, they were not letting this go. There was also a video going around at one point where people felt like it looked like Elaine was not letting Rudy say hi to fans, and she was like pulling him away from them.
Over here, smile. Oh, great,
That did not have fans too happy, and given that the show came out during COVID, the cast hadn't really gotten to experience their fans in person, so they were extra sad that he couldn't enjoy that experience and she looked to be taking it away from him. Fans made it very clear that they were seeing a shift in Rudy since entering the relationship, and they were not happy about it, and the hate just really did not die down towards Elaine. And shortly after the release of the second season of the show, Rudy ended up posting in her defense, writing on Instagram, "Hello to all. I want to thank my amazing fans/followers who have shown nothing but love and support and are here for just a fun time. Unfortunately, I'm here to call out the disrespect and harassment someone who I love dearly is getting on a daily basis. It has gotten to the degree where lies are being spread and accusations are being said that go beyond the normal hate. Not only is she not what she is being accused of being, she is the complete opposite and actively is so. Accusing someone you don't know of being abusive and manipulative is not okay, especially when you don't know the relationship personally. I am very happy in the relationship I'm in. I know I might not actively show it on social platforms just how happy we are together, but this is my personal decision to keep most of those moments for myself. To those who are creating such displeasure and opinions about the one I love in my relationship, it's time to stop. In this era of social engagement and enlightenment, I want to express the importance to spread positivity and needing to know when it is fair to express your own distaste for something or someone, especially when you can do it behind an anonymous identity. I was always told the best version of yourself is your most humbled self. I make this statement as my most humbled self and would be so grateful if we all would move forward in positivity and respect. All love, R. Madison had also come out to defend her girlfriend Mariah at one point, as people didn't like what Mariah had previously said on that one live and accused her of not liking Rudy. So Madison wanted to come and shut that down.
I'm pissed because too many people have my girlfriend's name in their mouth and it's driving me insane. Because I don't play, I do not play games when it comes to me and mine. So I'm seeing all of these posts about, you know, like Mariah not liking Rudy, which, I mean, that's not true. It's just not true. I mean, she likes both of them. I got on the phone with Rudy this morning because of y'all's bullshit.
People had also accused her girlfriend of being a cloud chaser, feeling like she was always doing these deals with Madison and just using her fame. And Madison also wanted to shut that down.
Somebody commented and said something that didn't sit right with me at all. And somebody said, and I've heard a couple people say this before, that Mariah is dating me for clout or dating me for the fame or for whatever. And I'd like to address that right now. Screen record it if you have to, because I want you to quote me correctly. In order, it just like this baffles me. First of all, let's be clear. How is my girlfriend dating me for fame? You know, we date each other, right? That's how a relationship works. It's not one person dating somebody, yes? Like, y'all are clear on that? In order, I'm gonna say it again, in order for me to think that my girlfriend's only dating me for fame, I would have to believe that I have nothing better to offer as a girlfriend, as a wife, as a partner, whatever, than fame.
Now let's get into season 3, because truly this is when fans were really feeling like things went south, since in the show, this was when their characters were romantically getting together after 2 seasons of a really slow build. This was also going to be the first season coming out since Madeline and Chase announced their breakup. So fans were kind of scared that their chemistry would be off, but honestly, they kept it super professional and still have. People felt like the vibe was off during all the press and promotion for season 3 when it came to Rudy and Madison though, and that it really was nothing close to season 1, especially for it being their characters' season. And they felt like even in the press interviews, it was just really awkward when they were addressing the romance. Somehow, to their luck, these two won Best Kiss at the MTV Awards, but due to the writer's strike, the show was canceled and they didn't have to attend, because in the past, Best Kiss usually, well, they go on stage and they kiss. So I'm sure that would have been a nightmare for everyone involved here, just based on all the rumors around the drama here. And speaking of the strike, let me just explain something. So when it came to the writer's strike that occurred last year, they were able to film Outer Banks during that because they already had some of the scripts done. So they could film. It wasn't until the actors' strike that they had to stop filming. So when it came to season 4, they were filming a little bit, then they had to stop, and then they picked back up again. But it was during the season 4 filming that fans noticed something went down, because one night Elaine posted on Instagram that she was having dinner with the cast because a few of them had also posted this particular meal. And then it comes out that Madison unfollowed Rudy's girlfriend Elaine, and then she unfollowed Madison and her girlfriend Mariah. Mariah unfollowed both Rudy and Elaine, and then Rudy unfollowed Mariah. And allegedly, Elaine was then let go of from the show, which, I mean, I don't know if that's what led to the unfollowing. Maybe they had just been keeping it professional because she was working on the show. And then once they found out that she was done from the show, she got the unfollows. And then Rudy unfollowed Mariah since she unfollowed Elaine and still has to follow Madison to keep the peace for the show. I don't know, but it was getting really messy really quickly, and that's what people were assuming. People also noted that Madison was reposting TikToks at the time about friendships ending, and it was just adding more fuel to the fire that her and Rudy were really not friends anymore. And then rumors started swirling about Rudy no longer wanting to be on the show, and fans were starting to pick up on him sort of distancing himself from the cast. Even in promos for the upcoming season, they felt like he was just oddly by himself in some of them. Someone on Tumblr then posted that they had this insider knowledge and claimed Rudy wanted to be killed off the show. They wrote, "Why did Rudy come to this decision?" They said, "For a while, Rudy hasn't felt completely comfortable on set. It has been this way since season 2 and even worse during season 3. It's honestly getting tiring to even talk about this topic, but the way things went down with Madison Bailey is a big reason for that. As much as people want to make it seem like they're friends, the truth is that they're not and they haven't been for a while. They're civil though. Madison and Elaine, Rudy's longtime girlfriend, do not get along, and Elaine being on set almost all the time is not something Madison enjoyed. Elaine didn't enjoy Madison's company either. Madison and Rudy may come off as unprofessional, but they do at the end of the day do what they have to do on set. Believe me when I say that they gave a lot, all the way until season 4, episode 10, when it comes to Kiara, because they know the popularity the ship holds and how fans feel about them, and it's their job to do so. We all saw how close Rudy and Madison were in 2019 to 2020. However, it was too overwhelming on both of them, especially on Rudy's end. What happened between the two of them off camera is not something they owe to anyone. Let me be clear when I also say that the fans had nothing to do with the drama between them. To Kiara fans specifically, your love and support for the ship is appreciated by the cast, make no mistake, even though this isn't the ideal ending for these characters. I hope you're still satisfied with how season 4 played out to the OBX fans. Still, a little before beginning production on season 4, Rudy Pankow asked for a change in his character storyline. He expressed his feelings to the Pates, the writers of the show, about wanting to leave the show as his contract ends after season 4. The only realistic way to have a character like JJ suddenly get up and leave is by killing him off the show. Let me make it clear that the Pates absolutely didn't want this, and it came as a shock to them. Same with Netflix. The question of JJ's death was also asked, and they said, "I'll keep it plain and simple. Season 4, episode 10 in Morocco, where the finale was shot." So this information came out prior to season 4 being released on Netflix, and people did not know what to believe, but they were clearly saying that JJ was not going to be making it this season, and they were giving some insight to what was going on behind the scenes. Season 4 on Netflix was broken up into 2 parts, and following the release of part 1, they all did press together, and at the premiere, everyone was in attendance, even with their girlfriends. Though a little awkward since those unfollowings and Elaine no longer being part of the crew, people were watching them a little bit extra, just, wondering how it was all gonna go, but it seemed cordial. And maybe it was also everybody could have just one last good premiere together, because last week, you guys, part 2 premiered of season 4, and I'm about to spoil what happens, but Rudy does get killed off the show. So JJ is no longer going to be on the show, and everyone is looking back to that Tumblr post thinking, well, that person was actually correct. He died in season 4, episode 10, when they were in Morocco. So people were like, well, is the rest of that info true? Maybe, I don't know. And those that do believe that post was true are absolutely pissed, I tell you, and they are blaming his girlfriend Elaine for creating this change in him that had him distancing himself from the show and the cast and not wanting to see things through till the end. Fans were also upset because this season, season 4, was finally the one where JJ and Kiara were going to be a full-on couple, and they barely acted together. And in one of the episodes, it looked like they needed a body double just to film a scene where Kiara is laying on JJ's chest, and people were calling them out, saying that this is unprofessional. Someone tweeted, "No way they had a JJ stunt double when Key was laying on him," showing a behind-the-scenes photo where it did not look like it was Rudy that Madison was laying on. And in the show, you guys, in this particular scene, they keep cutting between JJ's face and Kiara's face, and they're never in the same frame together. So everyone's like, they really could not stand each other, so much to the fact that they needed a body double just to have this cozy snuggly moment. And people were just like, this is unreal, because Chase and Madeline are actual exes, and they can somehow pull it together and still give us this on-screen chemistry. So that's some of the drama from season 4 of people just calling out Rudy, saying that him and Madison couldn't act professional and be cutesy this season, and that they believe his girlfriend is the reason why he wanted to quit the show. Meanwhile, the writers of the show are saying that this was something that was planned for a while now, that one of the Pogues was going to die. In an interview to E!, they wrote, "In fact, Rudy Pankow, who plays JJ on the show, was actually on board with the idea of his character facing a a tragic fate from the start. He seemed excited about it, Shannon exclusively told E! News. Like, just the idea of doing a death-dying scene in the abstract, Rudy also had a lot of time to prepare for the big moment, as Josh recalled coming up with the idea to kill off one of the Pogues early on in the teen drama's development and pitching it to the 26-year-old shortly after. It was actually an idea that was almost present from the beginning of the series, that at some point one of the Pogues would die, the screenwriter explained. By the second season, we realized it would be JJ, and we even talked about it with Rudy far off in the future, like when this character goes, it might be in Kiara's arms. So the writers are trying to say, hey guys, this has been something that we have planned since the beginning, but obviously there's rumors that this was a blindside to them. And I will say that apparently one of the writers unfollowed Rudy, but sources are definitely trying to put the drama rumors to rest, as TMZ wrote this week. But it seems the gossip is a bunch of hogwash, as sources familiar with the situation tell TMZ there is no feud or beef between Rudy and Madison. But more has come out from the same insider who spoiled JJ's death on the show, and they had more info that they wanted to share, answering several questions. I will also say that this person claims to work on the show, which is how they have this alleged inside information, and that they were right about JJ getting killed off. But this is what they had to say. Was JJ's death planned? No. Rudy asked to leave the show. It wasn't something the writers planned. He didn't want to renew. The writers were rightfully upset and then decided to kill JJ off. Was there alternate endings? Yes, but that was only because they wanted to see if Rudy would change his mind. There was even scenes where a funeral was shot. Obviously, they didn't air it, so I'm assuming they're saving it for season 5. From March to June of 2024, they spent the entire time doing reshoots of some scenes. That is why some things don't make sense. Why did the cast chemistry seem off in part 2? They shot episodes 1 to 5 first, then 10, then 6 to 9. The cast didn't know Rudy asked to leave until they received the script for episode 10. You can tell there was a drastic change between JJ and Kiara in part 2 because after the cast found out, Madison was upset with Rudy and his decision, so she didn't put in as much effort into the scenes with him. She was upset because she knew that would mean the near end of OBX and her character in a way. Which I will say, this makes a lot of sense to me because in the first half of the season, Key and JJ do have a little bit more of a flirty time. Like, they're in the hospital together, and it makes sense that that was before ever even knowing he wanted to leave the show. Because if it really is the case that after they found out that he wanted to leave, Madison was then upset and then didn't try as hard in the scenes with him, because literally part 2 of OBX season 4, you would not know they were supposed to be a couple in the show. Now, some other questions answered were, this person also wrote, obviously what happened between them is private. It wasn't the fans. The fans were more so the catalyst to something that had been brewing. It is true that the girlfriends are involved in that they weren't happy. Madison hurt Rudy, but not by being a bully. It was emotionally. The feeling was then returned on his end, and it just got worse from there. It didn't help when the girlfriends and fans were involved. It is true that it's not a coincidence this happened when they both got involved with relationships. Most of you have speculated correctly. That is all I will say. I think you know by now what I'm trying to say. Also, when I say fans, I don't mean the shipping. They never cared about that. What I do mean is that all this drama happened when Kiara fans were at their peak. Them wanting to see those characters together put Rudy and Madison in a problematic situation because they knew they couldn't avoid each other on screen. Instead, they just did so off screen. So fans have been left to read through the drama and honestly just feel sad about it all. Even if things are good, which it doesn't sound like it, but even if they are, the fans just miss the interactions from season 1 and are sad with losing one of the mains on the show, and also just the lack of romance between the couple on the show. Like, they had been such a slow burn and it just didn't really give couple this season. That made fans sad. It's all just been so crazy, and now they've announced season 5 will be the last one. And if I had to guess how the show is going to end, I honestly think that they're building it out to be John B telling the story of the Pogues to his child, whose name is going to be JJ. If I had to predict the ending, that's what it feels like they're setting it up for. But I want to know what you guys think about this. Have you guys watched the show? How did you guys feel about this season? How do you feel about the drama going around, the rumors of it all? What do you think happened? Let me know your thoughts. I love you guys so much, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye, guys.